Today's a big day here at the Dr. Oz Show because we have a very special interview with not one, not two, but three investors of the mega hit Shark Tank. They are here to give all of you advice on how to make money, how to manage your financial stress, and exactly what to do if you have the next big idea. Now, our lovely audience today via Zoom are entrepreneurs who've actually pitched on Shark Tank in past seasons, so they know what the bite's like. Now, right on the heels of their 13th season premiere, here they are. Please welcome my friends Barbara Corcoran. There she is. Oh, Daymon John and Mark Cuban. They swim out, shaking. Yeah. Come on over here. Come on, Daymon, come on.
Yeah.
Mark,
good to see you.
Where you going, Barb?
I thought I was supposed to.
No, you can sit here if you want, but why don't you sit here? She's falling apart. What kind of shark is this? I was wondering where you were going. Come here. Let me help you.
Up, will you, baby?
Barbara, I
Now,
need you to take your meds.
your former
Doc,
contestants are laughing.
Doc, please.
Please tell her to
Yeah,
deal with this all day.
Doc, will you tell her to take her medicine? I know you. Come on.
Know that the people backstage of my show trick the guests on purpose. To throw them off their
That
game.
one worked just fine.
You know, it's the best place to have Mark over there because the last time we were this close, we were guarding each other in an NBA Celebrity All-Star game.
Playing basketball,
He has sharp elbows and he can box you out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the rugby, you know.
That's the rugby. You know. So I remember vividly the very first time that we met because it was 13 years ago. Both of our shows were launching simultaneously. I had no idea what I was getting into. You probably didn't either.
Right.
What does it feel like? Do you still get excited after 13 years?
Oh, God. I get excited every time those doors open. I'm like looking at that person and think I'm going to meet myself. I'm looking for a waitress or some nobody who needs a break. And I'm sitting there. I'm sure you are too. Like, how could we make a difference here? So it doesn't wear thin.
So,
Yeah.
and I look at all those people and I say, man, I wish I would have thought of that. But wait a minute, I can invest in it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just so exciting.
You
They
get
can
to
do the
change
work.
lives. What's better than that?
Nothing's better.
Magic making.
So there's some amazing guest hosts coming on the show this year.
Yes.
I happen to know them, right? But so yeah, Kevin Hart, great
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
my
and,
God.
and investor, and Dan Lubetzky is one of my favorite people on the planet. He was a founder
Bar.
of Kind
Yeah.
Bars.
Yes.
What is it like when there's new blood in the water? Do you go after them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I call them rookie, right?
Yeah.
Until they get their first deal done. Come on, rookie. Come on, rookie. But yeah, you make them work a little bit, but they're all obviously so smart that they fit right in.
But you got to find your balance with them, don't you?
No.
Not at all?
No. You got to stick it to them. And it's fun.
Stick it, Dave.
Yes, it's Shark Tank.
You know,
yeah,
it's
Shark
fun
Tank.
too because you listen. After we sit next to Kevin, we hear the royalty deal. You're dead to me.
Yeah. It's well,
1,000 times,
so
right?
true.
It's like
Yeah.
you know, it's like your crazy granddad at the table, right? But you get somebody who is really a proven shark in their own right, and they know the fundamentals of business. But maybe we disagree, and we can have a healthy debate that we'll all learn from.
they're not being truthful. I hate every guest shark. I know they're there for one reason, to take my seat. When Mark first walked on the set, he was a guest shark.
Yep.
He left with that seat. He stole the seat. And I tell everybody, when Mark sat in that seat, he owned it. We'll never have another guy that can walk and dominate like that again until Kevin Hart came.
Yeah, Kevin
Hart was so much better than this guy. he was so
We argued
shrewd. He
about
was
that.
so funny. If I were Mark, I would worry about my
I
seat.
told
Kevin
her
was
we've
great.
had so many other much
don't-
more younger,
go
beautiful,
there.
richer women sharks, way more coherent, and we still bring this bag of bones back to the set every year. So there's you're safe, Barb. You're good.
I'm still insecure.
It's like a double elimination tournament.
All day, every day.
So, Mark, let me ask you, because you make a lot of prominent investments, even outside of Shark Tank. What gives you more pleasure? Is it the joy of just making a ton of money or finding something that you believe in?
Couple things. It's not so much the money anymore. It's the impact, right? You know, can you change someone's life? You know, and then what kind of impact can the product have? Can it change the world? Can it change an industry? And so when something's disruptive and I change somebody's life, that's what's most appealing to me.
Yeah.
Always.
The same thing. I mean, you know, the money is great, but I've noticed whenever I go out to actually try to make money at something, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's usually just this passion, this person that I really love to work with, or, of course, as a doctor, you see it way more than we do. You create change, and you just get a good feeling from it.
You can't spend a ton of time doing something you will never be the best at it, and if you don't love it, you won't do that.
That's right.
Exactly.
What's the favorite product you've ever invested in, Barbara?
Well, my favorite product is my most profitable product, funny enough. It's the Comfy, and it's a wearable blanket. Two crazy guys came in, brothers. They pitched. They didn't know what they were going to sell it for. They didn't even know how to make it. It was handmade. They didn't know where they were going to manufacture it. And they didn't even know what they were going to do with the whole idea. And I'm thinking to myself, they're nuts, but I'm going to spend the money they're asking, $50,000. I took a third of their business, and 3 years later, they made $400 million.
What?
Did I know what I was
It's the
doing?
most profitable
400
company in
million.
Shark Tank history. It's not even close. Barb doesn't brag enough. It's the most incredible deal ever. Ever.
$400 million in revenue?
But it was by accident. It's not like I thought they had anything there. I'm just, hey, they're nice guys. I'll take a whack at them.
Literally.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
David,
a
your
crazy
favorite
business.
product?
My favorite product is Bombas socks. Every sock that we sell, we give a pair away to the homeless. So I saw the impact, and we've given away now 60 million pair of socks, as well as now underwear and T-shirts.
Those are Bamba socks, I bet.
These are Bombas socks, of course.
Here, show them up. Put them up there. I actually have some of these.
Yeah.
They're
Wow.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Patterns on them?
They have patterns on them, and it is the #1 invested product in Shark Tank history.
Oh, really? Said who?
It is. The producers, after they called
Oh, that's
everybody and
funny.
found the
They told me
numbers.
mine was better.
No. And it shows that, these other underachievers around me can't do their math, because 500 million is better than 400 million. So I'm feeling really strong. I'm feeling strong to very strong about it.
Mark, are they like siblings to you? Do you guys
Oh my
trash talk
God.
continuously?
The whole time. Whenever
The
we're all
biggest trash
discussing-
talker is this person
No,
right here.
I'll
for
talk
sure.
trash all the time. But Barbara and Daymon, no one can get a word in edgewise because they're killing each other. And then Kevin's in the middle, and yeah, it's just
Mark owns the Dallas Mavericks. So who trash talks more, the guys in the NBA or Shark Tank?
Good question.
it's a toss up, right? It's a toss up because we're next to each other for 12 hours a day, so
Yeah.
it's nonstop.
Your favorite product?
They're all my children.
Right.
But I'll have a little recency bias. One of my companies is a tattoo butter and oil and called Mad Rabbit, and they're doing a big promotion and support program for breast cancer right now as we speak, starting today. And so when our companies stand up and try to have an impact and help have a purpose, right, and have passion behind it, that's always the most important to me.
Excellent.
So I want an honest answer here. Which shark has the biggest bite?
Oh, they already know.
It's Mark.
Yeah, they already know.
Why?
He shoots from he comes straight out, straight after you. He's extremely definitive, in a very quick period of time. I think I have to think about it because honestly, I hear so many great things from some of these sharks, and I'm up there about to jump in a deal, and one of them says something brilliant, and I go, oh yeah, and that's why I'm out.
Yeah, when I want something,
Yeah,
I can
he
usually
wants
get
it,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Mark, who's the biggest minnow, the guppy out there?
Oh my, Kevin.
Absolutely,
Kevin?
Yeah.
Mr. Wonderful?
Mr. Wonderful.
Who's
It's not
not
even close.
wonderful all the
He's
time?
all hammer, no nail.
Yes, 100%.
His wife walks up
and I
to
love
the set,
Kevin.
his feet shake.
Kevin
He's like
sometimes
shaking.
has some innovative ideas in terms of financing. I'll give him that credit, right? But unless something fits that royalty or that very specific equation, he's not doing it.
Yeah.
So,
And after he makes the deal, he renegotiates and gives away more money. I hear that from the inside.
really?
Yeah, he's a pushover.
He's a sweet guy.
All right, coming up, we dive into the deeper connection between health and wealth when we come back, especially financial stress from the pandemic that a lot of you are feeling. Welcome back. We are here with the investors of the hit show Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran, Daymon John, and Mark Cuban. And we've all heard the saying, with more money comes more problems. So, Mark, do you think that's true? And how do you de-stress?
Shoot baskets, play basketball, for real.
Yes.
Like if I'm stressed, I'll go. I have a tennis court / basketball court outside. I'll just go shoot baskets, literally, because all I care about is the ball going through the hoop.
Yeah.
I get to clear my head. That sound of the net when the ball goes through. That's what I do.
And Barbara, what do? You shoot hoops too?
No,
Yeah.
I do not. I jog away from my husband, Bill, lower his expectations. But I do ski. That's what I do most as often as I can. And I ski better than any man I've ever met. I just had to put that in. It had nothing to do with the show, but I had to say it.
I like this. The trash talk you have it on the couch?
Never stops.
Daymon, you've been a leader during the pandemic especially, but even before that with small business folks and helping them out. And the pandemic really hurt small businesses.
Yeah.
What's your advice to help them build back financially when they've got almost nothing left?
Well, that is challenging, and there's no one right answer. They have to take inventory of what they have, how much cash on hand, maybe renegotiate their leases and talk to their employees and come up with ways to be creative. But don't put your head in the sand. You have to start making decisions. Most landlords will be sympathetic, staff, customers will be sympathetic. Remember why you're in the business. If you have to make it a little bit smaller, do that so you can, grow further afterwards.
Yep.
But, you got to take inventory, and everybody's inventory is different.
Barbara, let's talk about women for a second. 1.8 million women fewer in the workforce. A lot of women said it's not worth it to me. I got to go back to my families. Some lost their jobs because without their own desire. They got household constraints, So what's the fix?
Well, women paid the biggest price in COVID, absolutely. And it's not like they wanted to go home, and many of them quit their jobs. They had to go home. They had their kids at home. They had to school them at home. So they got the worst of COVID, no doubt. But I don't fall for the typical thing that we can't attract enough women to the workplace. We're having a hard time hiring. I just don't buy it. You can attract as many women as you want if you accommodate them as mothers, as people who have 3 jobs: the household, the kids, and the job. A little different than what the men have. So you have to support the women and make their schedules as flexible as you can. And COVID has proven that people work very well when they're not in the office. We've all learned to trust employees. So there's absolutely no excuse to not be able to attract women back.
Then pay them fairly.
Yep.
And
Pay
by
them
the way,
fairly.
they're smarter than men. They work harder than men.
Always, see? Case
So
in
there
point.
you go.
Case in point, right?
She's absolutely right, and I think for the people doing the right thing in business, to pay them fairly and accommodate them, you're going to get massively sharp talent. So be
Flexibility.
on that side of it, because there's a pool of amazing talent that's just not being appreciated.
And you help society in a way that's
100%.
immeasurable. So you guys are all self-made. No trust babies here, right? Trust fund babies. And that's the American story. So I'm curious, because it's part of the future of this nation, what do we need to do to get more people to become entrepreneurial?
Well, if you make heroes of the entrepreneurs, which they obviously are, they're the best example of what's great about America. The more you put them in the public eye, the more people emulate them. It's just the natural law. And I think you've been so much advocating about the government's involvement. How do you feel about it?
Government intervention can be a lot of different things, but I think the most important thing that we can do is education. Because without a fundamental financial understanding, you don't know where to start. I mean, that's the reason I do Shark Tank, because there is so little grade school, high school, middle school financial education or entrepreneurial training. People watch us. They literally use Shark Tank in thousands of schools to teach kids to be entrepreneurs. And so I think we need more programs, government funded, that get people going and understanding their own personal finances and business in general.
What does the government do wrong in stifling entrepreneurship? And then I'm going to come back to you specifically about why don't we have more heroes?
What they're doing wrong is, again, it's going to be echoing what Mark said. They should teach kids financial intelligence like they teach them shop in the 2nd and 3rd grade, right? And because kids don't know what to do with taxes, they don't know what compounding interest is, but yet they're going to take out $400,000 in student debt that they won't pay off till they're 50 years old for a career they're not sure they want to have, right? And this is important, whether you are balancing a checkbook as a mom or dad at home or running a Fortune 500 company.
And I would say at the state level, more than the federal level, we need to simplify starting a business. There's a lot of ridiculous licensing requirements. You have to hire a lawyer way too often. And the minute potential entrepreneur, they can be wanting to be a plumber. They could be wanting to cut hair. The minute they hear about all the requirements and they realize they have to hire an accountant or a lawyer to start, 90% of them stop. There's no reason why this all can't be automated.
And it's daunting. There's 30 million small businesses in this country, and 22 million of them are one-man or one-woman operations. It's daunting.
The only other thing, which you mentioned earlier, is access to money. You go to your local bank, they're not going to lend an entrepreneur unless they have a backup, a parent guaranteeing. So it promulgates young kids, rich kids, getting financing, not the kids that need it. So
and we saw
really
some
has
good
to be a
things with
loosening
PPP
up.
loans during the pandemic, right? Where
lot
there
of
were small businesses that could work with the Small Business Administration. And that, if you look for a bright light out of the pandemic, people started to understand, small businesses, really small businesses, started to understand how to work with the Small Business Administration.
Yeah, that's true.
And there are opportunities there, and there are some good programs.
Has the
There's
internet
no
made
red tape on that.
Has the internet made it easier or harder to start a small business?
It's inspiring.
Way easier.
Way.
You can pick up your phone right now and you can do $1 million this week if you understand what you're doing.
In fact, when you think about most of the successful businesses from this season on Shark Tank, I would say 80% of them were online businesses.
Yeah.
It's almost like we heard retail, it was a foreign word.
Well, because with the pandemic, people had the time.
Yeah.
You could get in front of a laptop or even on a phone or a PC and figure out how to start a business, whether it's on Etsy, eBay, Shopify, BigCommerce, whatever it was, and in 30 minutes be up and selling
You have
something.
a store. You don't have a lease. You don't have to do
Nothing.
all this type of stuff and rebuild a store. You start a store.
Speaking of investments, how important is going to college to becoming an entrepreneur?
100%, thumbs up. People talk about, well, this guy dropped out, Bill Gates dropped out. No. I've had this conversation with my kids. You need to learn the language of business. You don't want to be dependent on somebody else. When you understand finance, you don't need to be dependent on somebody else. When you understand marketing, you don't have to be dependent on somebody else. That college education not only gives you specifics, but it teaches you how to learn and it gives you independence.
I just believe you need further education. I am not sure if you need necessarily college, but 120%, you definitely need to keep educating yourself in any way you can.
I don't know if I ascribe to their way of thinking. I don't think college is for everybody. I think a lot of people waste their time in college. I think you have to get your hands on the knowledge you need, and it's not always in the classroom. I have hired people who have the best education in the world and put them on their feet in a street situation, and they cannot perform. They don't have the foggiest idea. I've hired people with no education at all. They're smart as could be. They're street smart. They know how to bob. They know how to weave. They know how to get
But that's
the
for
information
jobs.
they need.
Those are for people you're hiring.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I do think for most people, depending upon what you want to do, 4 years spent in college is a great idea. It builds self-confidence. But I think for a lot of people, it's 4 years wasted. I really do.
When are you announcing your candidacy for president, Mark?
Never.
That's a long time from now. Never.
I know. Not
His
gonna
wife's never going to let him.
Yeah, never gonna let him.
Never going to let him.
Which shark is going to be in the White House first?
Well, that has to be Mark. They never elect
Visiting.
this guy.
Yeah,
He's too
visiting.
I'll be there if they want me to make merchandise for
Yeah.
them.
Will we ever have a shark in the White House?
We will. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will probably be Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, maybe. Kevin.
Probably, yeah.
He's popular enough.
Yeah.
Could be. Let's hope so.
All right, coming up, the sharks are going to jump into the water to offer advice to an entrepreneur in need. That happens when we come back. So welcome back. We're having a blast because we're here with the investors on the hit show Shark Tank. Mark Cuban, Daymon John, and Barbara Corcoran, good friends. They're mixing it up. It is time to watch them in action as they offer advice to an entrepreneur who can really use it. Please welcome, via Zoom, Gloria. So Gloria, tell us a bit about your business, and what is your question for Barbara?
Hi, Dr. Oz. I am a hands-on, 100% owner of Foot Nanny. Foot Nanny is old-fashioned wellness in a jar. I built this brand off the memory of my mother and my grandmother's gift of the old-fashioned rub down. They believe if your feet felt good, your entire body felt good. In 2019, I did 1.5 million in sales.
Whoa.
In 2020, I nearly doubled it, and I did 2.5 million in sales.
Nice.
I currently have 3 warehouses. I have 4 Foot Nanny spas. And when you go to footnanny.com, you take the foot quiz and we pair your feet with an at-home experience kit. Foot
Yeah,
Nanny is
good job.
Sharks, I need help. I need help. I dreamed of this day to ask for help. I have a question. I love you all, Mark, Daymon, Barbara. I love you all, but Barbara, I have a question.
Okay.
Do you think I should focus on expanding the growth of my products to make them more available to shoppers, or should I keep it boutique and continue to create more foot care kits and the customer experience in the Foot Nanny spots?
Gloria, you obviously have the enthusiasm to take this business as far as you want. You're not short on energy, that's for sure, and you're in love with your product, okay? The only danger is when you're in your sophomore, junior year, which you are, and you've got lots of sales and you're feeling good about yourself, that's usually when many entrepreneurs get sloppy. They don't really have an accurate picture of what's making the money. They're making so much money, they don't stop, pause, and think, okay, what are my big producers? What am I producing that isn't selling well? What could I eliminate? How could I streamline? How could I do more of what's working? And so I think you have to take a pause button, go to the mountain, whether it be your public library or a quiet spot that you could find, and spend a whole day analyzing your business from the sky down. And then when you proceed and branch out and make more product or whatever you decide, it's with accurate judgment because you've sized your business up. You need to regroup before you move ahead.
Daymon, what do you think about the product? And I am curious, if you had to make a decision, do you sell more of these or do you make those boutique experiences?
I think the product smells beautiful, and I think we, Gloria and I,
He's a shark. Gloria, duck.
there's only 3 ways to deal with a customer, right? You either acquire a new one, you upsell a current one, or you make one buy more frequently. Acquiring a new one is 20 times harder than doing either one. You want to supersize everybody's fries. And that's exactly what she's doing. I think that Barbara said it very eloquently about digging deeper and seeing what's her 80-20, 20% of the customers, 80% of the business, vice versa, and how do you keep selling them more, figure it out, and then you will get to a point, usually around year 4 and 5, to world and global domination.
Mark, is this a product that could be globally dominant?
Depends on the numbers. I mean, to their point, right, you have to look to see where your happy places are, right? What makes your customers the happiest of all your different products, and where are you making the most gross margins? evaluate your business, but look to see where the happy spots are, where your customers happiest, and where are you making the most gross margin dollars or profits, and follow that, because they'll usually lead you to global domination. And the other things are the ones that hold you back.
Now, Gloria,
Okay.
what piece of advice stood out the most? I want to grade the Sharks to see who helped you the most.
Well, I love everybody said everything I wanted to hear, especially Daymon, me and Daymon. You know, I like that.
Oh, no.
That was good. I love Barbara. I mean, you know, Barbara.
It's
so
too
much,
late.
You know, but
It's too
Daymon
late to love
feels
me. You named
great.
Daymon.
I like the growth as far as picking the ones that are the best, and all of them are my children. All of this is my children, so it's hard to. But I do have 10 top sellers, and you're right. You're right.
You know what,
I love
Gloria?
that.
Gloria, your customers will tell you which of your children are ugly.
Yes.
You need to kick to the curb. They really, really will.
Oh my God.
All right, Gloria, with that thought in mind, thanks for joining us. Good luck in your business. I'm sure you're going to do
Thank
great.
you.
Good luck, Gloria.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, we'll be back with lots more from the Sharks. We are back with the cast of the hit show Shark Tank. So, Dave, let's talk about black entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They're not enough.
Yeah.
The ones that are out there are doing pretty well. You've been encouraging black entrepreneurs. You got this big event coming up, by the way. I should tell everybody, David's been encouraging black entrepreneurship for a long time. What is the most essential factor that we're missing, that you're advocating for?
They need information. They need access to capital, and the information comes from not necessarily coming from generational wealth, and access to capital often is because they don't have information. We've been bartering and trading since the beginning of time, and we look at it as hustling. But a lot of the companies that we see, they can't take in capital because they're not structured the right way. But once they have that information, they are extremely dominant because they don't take no for an answer. And I'm throwing Black Entrepreneurs Day because, last year or a year ago, we saw people of all colors coming together, fighting injustice, but kids who did not have enough information were burning businesses instead of building businesses. And when they start to see other people that are building businesses that look like them, they're going to go out and try to do it themselves as well.
So Black Entrepreneur Day, you should all know it's about raising awareness and supporting black business leaders. You need an event tomorrow night. It's streaming live from the Apollo on his Facebook page, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Check it out.
And we're giving away $250,000 in grants.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, $250,000.
I'll be there.
$250,000 in grants.
Yeah.
Interviewing Kevin Hart, Tyra Banks, Michael Strahan, a bunch of people coming out, Reverend Run. So you're going to hear about their failures, not their successes.
$250,000 is buried the lead, my man.
We're not taking any of their company.
But there'll be 1 million people tuning in because they did last year and you won a Webby Award. Kudos
Yes.
for
Oh, and
that.
2.
You won 2?
Yep.
There you have it.
All right. That blows my mind.
Want to know who won the very first Webby Award?
Who?
For streaming way back when.
I just had one moment to shine. Just one moment.
Yeah, but yours is much more important.
Boys will be boys.
Mark, you've actually set out to upend the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this in a lot of different sectors, but the pharma industry they're big, they're profitable. You have a big idea to how to make drugs, the most important drugs that all Americans need, more affordable. Can you share it?
Yeah, it's called costplusdrugs.com. And what we're adding is transparency. The unfortunate nature of the pharmaceutical industry is that they try to hide everything. They don't want you to know what anything costs. When you go to pick up a prescription, you don't know how much it costs the pharmacy. You don't, all those things. So what we're doing with Cost Plus Drugs is we're going to be violently transparent. And our first drug is one called albendazole. Albendazole is for people with hookworm. And believe it or not, there are places in rural America, in Alabama, Texas, and other places where the sewage is so bad, kids are walking through sewage and catching and getting sick.
It grows into the skin under your feet.
Yeah, exactly right. And so albendazole used to cost $200 per dose.
What?
Right? $200 per course, right?
It's an old drug. How's
It's
that
an old
possible?
drug. It's generic, but they could get away with it because there's no transparency. So we went out and started sourcing that as our first drug, and that's the first of hundreds we'll be adding this month. And we're selling it for, depending on transportation, $12.50.
Wow.
And on top of that, the first 10,000 that we bought, we gave away to UT Southwest and their group that works with research for tropical diseases. And so we're just trying to upend all of it. And we'll start there and just keep on adding them. And if we can reinvent the whole pharmacy industry, that's what we're going to try to do.
Wow.
I'll tell you, I'm in. Seriously, I bet everyone
What
would
a
be, but
man.
I'm definitely in if it can help.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll keep you updated.
I want to thank you all for being here. Your spirit, is unending. And since day one, I've enjoyed watching you guys grow, succeed. Kudos to all your success.
As
Same.
we have enjoyed watching.
Thank you,
Same.
Doc. Thank you.
God bless you. You
Thank
can catch the next season of Shark Tank on Friday nights at ABC, but you already knew that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.